Hi there. Today we're going to make some meat roll. And this is a nice item that you can make ahead and use for your lunches during the week if you're packing lunches for someone, or eat it for lunch. It's really delicious. We're going to start with pizza dough. This is a 28-ounce package that equates to a large pizza. Yeah, it's been thawing out overnight, so that's ready to go. And what we're going to put inside are some lunch meat type foods. So we're going to have some smoked turkey, and we're going to have some boiled ham, and I have some lunch size pepperoni slices, some cheese, I have American cheese here, and some salami. And they're all sliced kind of thin. So the first step that we're going to do is a little tedious part where you spread out the dough in a big rectangle shape. So that's what we're going to start to do. I'm doing it right on my tabletop here, so it's easy to work with. And then I'll show you how we're going to put the meat and cheese into the recipe. Alright, I'm going to cut open this bag of pizza dough. Now you can let this thaw out quickly, or you can do it overnight in the refrigerator. But you want it to start to warm up so that you can work with it. And I just take it and stretch it out, and then I keep stretching it out until it becomes a big rectangle. So it's kind of like making a pizza. I'm just going to work on this a little bit, and then I'll be back. Alright, I got out my rolling pin. I have it stretched out pretty square, but this just helps to level out the thickness of it. Alright, so it kind of looks like a Sicilian pizza at this point, right? And it's not too thick. It's going to be pretty thin because we're going to roll it. Okay, so we're going to start out by laying down some ham. So we want to cover it pretty much with ham. But you want to leave the edges where you can tuck them in when you roll it. So it's okay to go to the edge with some of these. It's okay to overlap a little bit. But what you're shooting for here is that when this is put together, it's going to roll up this way, and you want to be able to slice even and get even portions all throughout this meat roll. Okay, next we're going to take some salami. I'm going to go a little closer to the edge with this one. And when you find some of these, you really just need to hit the center. So we're going to hit the part here that has any spots of dough sticking out. Alright, there's our salami. I'm going to take the turkey next, and I'm going to start closer to this edge this time. You could use whatever lunch meats or different types of salami or sopressata, different things like that. Whatever you like to put in a hoagie or a nice sandwich. And alright, now we have turkey over everything. Let's take the sandwich size pepperoni. Now in some places it's hard to get this, but you can get it sliced at the deli usually. And this is another one. You might not want to have it solid all the way through, but make a couple passes on it to get the flavor. Alright, then we're going to take some cheese. Again, use what kind of cheese you like. I have American here today in the household, so we're going to cover this with cheese. And this one I like to get out close to the end, even if you have to fold the cheese and break it a little bit. As I'm making this, you're probably imagining some things you could put in yours, right? A lot of times what goes into something like this is what you have in the refrigerator at the time. And you don't have to go out and purchase something else. You can use what you have. And if you space this across pretty evenly, it makes it very easy to roll. I'll just overlap this one. Okay, that's what we have. Now, if you'd like to add some seasoning, I think I'll add some oregano to this. I'm just going to shake on some oregano for a little extra flavor. I don't really think you need salt in here because the lunch meats are salty enough. Some people, will make this more like a stromboli and you can add sauce, but to take away for lunches, I like to just keep it as if it's a sandwich. And then just start to gently roll and just keep rolling right across. See how nice and easy? When you get to the end, you want to just try to seal this down as much as you can. Sometimes, the oil from the pepperoni may cause it to cook out, or the cheese might leak out, but try to press it down as good as you can and pinch it shut at the end. And we're going to bake this like a pizza. After all, it is pizza dough. I have a pan for the oven with a piece of parchment paper on it, and I think it'll fit nicely on here. If you see anything where you think cheese is going to leak out, try to seal it up. You may find a couple spots. If it cooks out, it's not a big problem because it's sealed pretty well. Now that seam I usually put right down on the bottom, and then that way it keeps it from cooking out. So let's put this in the oven at 400 degrees, and we're going to bake it for about 20 minutes, and we're going to check on it. When it starts to get nice and golden brown, we'll take it out. Putting it in the center rack of my Kasori toaster oven, which is also an air fryer oven. We're going to just use it as a toaster oven right now. I'll be back to show you when it starts to get brown. All right, here we are. That's what I call golden brown delicious. You can see some of the oil from the meats leaked out on the bottom of the seam, but the crust is nice and crispy. Ooh, check it out. All right, we're going to move it over to the cutting board, and we're going to let it cool. And I'm not going to cut it yet because the cheese will run out, so we'll be back to cut this after it gets cooled off, and I'll show you what the slice looks like from the inside. Alright, I left it cool off a little bit. It's still warm inside, but it's not piping hot, but I'd like to show you what it looks like. I'll take the parchment paper off of it. Now, if the cheese is a little runny, what you might want to do is put it in the refrigerator and let it get solid so that when you slice it for sandwiches, that it's a little nicer to take to lunch. Let's look inside. Alright, now you can see the cheese is a little runny yet. It's probably going to run out if I cut the whole thing, but it's getting solid. Anyway, what I usually do is I take a slice like this, and when it's cooled off, you can take a couple of these along for your lunch, and they're really nice to eat when you pack them in a cooler. So think about this easy recipe, and you can make your food ahead for the week. If you pack your lunch and you usually take a sandwich with these ingredients, try this. It's really something fun and different. Eat it warm or cold. You can heat it up in a toaster oven or microwave, but they're nice to eat cold too. So hope you get to try the recipe. Thanks for watching.